So last night, there was an election in Illinois. Now, as a progressive, I can tell you that it did not turn out very well. In fact, there were several very important races that, again, did not turn out well for progressives and actually turned out very well for the establishment. Now, one of these elections was, and this was a primary between Dan Lipinski and Mary Newman. Now, this is Illinois' 3rd district. And look, that district seems to be fairly liberal, but apparently it's not fairly progressive. 55% of the district voted for Hillary Clinton back in 2016, while about 40% voted for Donald Trump. So this is considered actually a very safe liberal seat. Again, liberal seat, not progressive seat, as Newman, who barely lost this election, can attest to. Now, Lipinski is one of the most conservative Democrats to ever serve. Now, he will be running against a Nazi. I'm not kidding. He's running against a literal Nazi. This is somebody who used to run a Nazi party. Now, he ran unopposed as a Republican, of course. And so you have, this is Arthur Jones. That's the Nazi, and versus very conservative Democrat Dan Lipinski. Now, let me give you some details about Jones here. Now, his 2018 campaign website says that the Holocaust is, quote, the biggest, blackest lie in history, made up by the organized Jewry to extort and terrorize others. Lovely. Sounds like a lovely guy. He opposes interracial marriage and said that African Americans shot by police got what was coming to them. He uses the N-word and admits to freely using the N-word, and said that his goal is the preservation of America as a white country. Now, he's also very anti-LGBT, very anti-women. He said, the queers are going to go back in your closets. So that's who this guy is. Now, the reason that I bring him up is, again, he's an oddity. He's actually doesn't have a very good chance of winning. And the only reason that he won the primary, actually, is that he ran unopposed. The Republican Party's like, no, we're not interested. We're not interested at all in running in this area because it is a safe Democratic district. Now, this is to show you, this is to illustrate why it makes no sense to vote for a conservative Democrat. As I said before, in a lot of these races, the establishment will say, well, you have to have somebody that's conservative in order to win in some of these areas, right? I mean, you got to have somebody that will play nice with the Republicans and will do some bipartisanship, and, you know, you can't go crazy and leftist. No, you got to be a moderate. Well, not in this district. Because, and again, Lipinski is a very, very conservative Democrat. And I'm going to lay out his positions here in a minute, but there would be no reason to run a moderate, centrist, more conservative Democrat in this district, because every time you have a literal Nazi that they're running against. And if you can't beat a literal Nazi, well, then you might as well just give up. But again, Lipinski will beat this guy. So why not have a progressive? Well, that was a question that Mary Newman asked herself, and she said, oh, why not a progressive? So she ran, and she ran an excellent race. But unfortunately, Lipinski had a lot of advantages on his side: incumbency, money, etc., name recognition, all that stuff. So he was able to squeeze out a win. So now, the disastrous part about this is the policies that Lipinski is running on. In fact, Lipinski voted against the Affordable Care Act. He voted against the DREAM Act, and also is anti-abortion. He is anti-choice. But wait, if this is such a secure blue seat, why is there somebody running who could be the Republican. I know why Republicans don't run in that race, because they already have one. It's Dan Lipinski. Jesus. Not only that, but he has the lowest score on the HRC's congressional scorecard. That's the Human Rights Campaign. He refused to co-sponsor LGBT right bills like the Student Non-Discrimination Act and the Equality Act. Not only that, but he opposed efforts by the congressional Democrats to repeal DOMA and has continued to say that he opposes marriage equality. And in 2015, Lipinski was the only Democrat to co-sponsor the First Amendment Defense Act, a bill that would have banned discrimination based on someone's belief that marriage should be limited to a man and a woman, heterosexual couples. And in 2016, he supported the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, which would have permitted businesses to discriminate against LGBT people. Now, look, this guy, again, ran against a real progressive, Marie Newman. Now, Marie Newman, again, she was far more progressive on her policy positions, single payer, etc., right? But she was also backed by some of the establishment, because it turns out Lipinski is so toxic, even the establishment Emily's List, which we've had problems with before, right? Backing candidates that decided that they would go against the progressive challengers, I should say, that defended against progressive challengers. So you had Planned Parenthood, the DCCC, also on Marie Newman's side. And yet still somehow Dan Lipinski won. Again, he had all the advantages. He had name recognition. He had money. He had Mike Madigan on his side. He's a big power broker there in Illinois. So, look, incumbency is incredibly powerful. The money is also incredibly powerful. Name recognition, incredibly powerful. And you have the Democratic machine, which unfortunately lined up behind Lipinski. He had the unions. Look, I'm a union guy. But why would you not vote for a more progressive candidate who actually might be even better for the unions? It doesn't make any sense. But of course, again, power is entrenched power. And there are these organizations that want to keep this power. So, and unfortunately, that's Lipinski. Super conservative Democrat, somebody that should belong to, by all rights, the Republican Party, getting unfortunately supported by the Democratic Party, by the Democratic machine in Illinois. That machine needs to be broken. That machine needs to be destroyed. If this is the kind of Democrat that comes out of Illinois, that machine has got to go. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.